Hi everyone, my name is Mariana. I'm from San Carlos University of Guatemala. I'm going to show you how to use Docker, like a basic usage, like an introduction of it. I'm going to use this repository of my teacher, the engineer Sergio Mendez. This repository has 4 parts. I'm going to do the 4 parts in my computer. My computer has a Linux distribution. Specifically has Manjaro Linux, an Arch distribution. So the first thing I'm going to do is clone this repository. I'm going to copy the HTTPS direction link, right? So I'm going to put git clone and copy the direction of the repository. Enter, and that's all. And now we are going to do the first part. Okay, let's get started with the first part. The first part is an introduction of Docker. The first thing we really need to have in this part is get Docker. I already had it. Docker version, and as you can see, I already have it. But if I want to reinstall it or something, I just put the command sudo pacman s and Docker. In this way I can reinstall it, right? I'll do it, and then I have it Docker. Now we have to start the service of Docker, so I'm going to do it with sudo systemctl and Docker start Docker, and that's all. The service of Docker is already running. Now we are going to do with the second step. We have to download the image. We are going to do a pull, an image of Docker, of Ubuntu, sorry. So we are going to do it with sudo docker pull Ubuntu and the tag. The tag is the version of Ubuntu. If we want a different version, we just put it another, right? The version that we want. But in this case, I'm going to use the 18 version, right? So we have to wait, and as you can see, the image has been started download. The download has been started. So we have to wait, and that's all. Now, the third step, we have to create the container with this command, right? We are going to create it with the command run, docker run, the name of the image, and we are going to execute the bash of the container, right? So we're going to write sudo docker run et ubuntu, the image that we already downloaded, and the bash. And right, as you can see, we have write it as the repository have. And this number is the ID of the container. Now we can execute ls, so we can see all the directories, of this image, right, of the Ubuntu. Now we have to open another tab with the terminal, and we can see if with this command sudo docker ps, we can see if with this parameter a, we can see all the containers, the status of all the containers, if they are already stopped or they are up. We can see it with this command, with this parameter. I'm going to write my password, and we can see, right, created about a minute ago, status it's up about a minute ago, and in this in this part we can see the ID is the same of this, right? So this is the ID container. Now we can exit in this case we can exit, we can leave the container with the command exit, and that's all. Now we can see the status of this container, and you can see the status is exit, right? Like 11 seconds ago, because we have put the command exit, so we already left of the container. That's why the status is exit. Now we can start again the container. So we can write again sudo docker start and the ID of the container. The ID of the container is this. In Docker we can use the first 3 or 4 letters or number of the ID. So we are going to use 950A, right? The first 4 letters of my container ID. And we already started. We can check if the status is up, and you can see up 5 seconds ago. Now we can enter again in the bash with the command sudo docker exec it. The ID of the container, we can put again the only 4 letters or numbers of my ID, 950A, and bin bash. So we can enter at the bash of the container, right? Okay, that's the basic usage of the Docker, the containers, the management of the containers. And the last step, we can stop the container and we can remove the container. So first we are going to exit of the container. If we want to stop the container, we just write sudo docker stop, and the ID of the container, the ID will be again 950A. Stop, and the container have stopped. We can check it. You can see exit 5 seconds ago, right? And if we want to remove the container, we just write sudo docker rm remove, right? The ID of the container again 950A, and we can check. Oh, and that's right. We succeeded with the command remove. It won't appear here because we have removed it, right? And that's all. Now the second part, we are going to give to the container public access. So the first step is create a container. We are going to create it with this command, and we're going to write it here, sudo, and paste the command. We have a few parameters more here. So we have a D. The D parameter is to create a container like a daemon, right? To run it. It's because the container will be running in a second plane. That's why D means. Now we are going to put the parameter P. It means the ports that will be exposed. The 8001 will be the port of my host, right, of my machine. Then we have the 80 port. It's the 80 is the port of the container. Then we have a name. we are going to give it a name of the container. The name will be Apache. We can use it with this name, right? Instead of using the first 3 or 4 letters or number of the ID container, we can use this name instead. The name of the image and the bash, right? It will be alright. So we can check if the container has been created successfully. So we can put sudo docker ps all the password, and we can see the name of the container Apache has been created 18 seconds ago, and it's up, right? So everything is okay. Now we are going to access the container. So we are going to write sudo docker exec et apache, the name of the container, bin bash, and we are in. Now we have to update, right? This because this is a Ubuntu machine, so we are going to update the packages. Now we are going to waiting, and it's done, right? Next, we are going to install Apache. That's the way we are going to check if everything is correct, if every port it's been exposed in the right way, sorry. So that's why we are going to install Apache. So we are going to wait until the Apache installation, right? Unpacking, preparing all the libraries. Meanwhile, we can copy the next command. The next command is start the service of Apache, right? So we are going to wait, setting up. I think it's a few more seconds, and that's all. So we're going to wait. Setting up, enable, and that's all. Okay. Now we are going to start the service of Apache. Okay, it's no problem with that. We can, right? As you can see, everything is okay. Now we can access to the site of Apache, of Ubuntu, of our machine. We can get the IP if we are running in a virtual machine in Amazon, Google Cloud, or we can just put the IP of that virtual machine. But in my case, I'm doing it in my computer, so I'm going to put only localhost, and the port of my host was 8001, and we can check it, and that's all, right? We can see the port, everything is okay. Ubuntu, Apache, right? You can see everything is okay. Or we can access with the IP of the container. Now, how we can check it? We are going to exit. We are going to check if everything is okay. It's up. Okay, so everything is okay. We are going to check the IP address with this command. So we're going to copy sudo and paste, and we are going to know the IP address. We are going to copy, and we're going to paste. And be careful, because this port is not 8001, because it's the port of the container. So we have to write the 80 port, right? And it's the same page of this. so we can see the everything it's okay, and that's all about the part 2. Okay, now the third part, we are going to create an image of container, with Docker files. In this part, we need the two files, a Docker file and an index HTML, right? So we are going to create these two files, but we already have created here in the repository, in the tier 3 source. This is the directory when we are going to find these two. I close it. Okay, so we are going to find these two files. So we are going to use it. Now this is the syntax of the Docker file. This is from image, right? The image we are going to use. The maintainer clonative plus GT is the group of this of this repository, right? Is the copyright. Now we are going to run the update. Like I said before, is a Ubuntu machine, so we have to update the packages. Then we have to install the Apache tool, like we already done before in the second part. Then we are going to remove all the files in the directory of var www html, because this is in this directory we will find the HTML that the Ubuntu have for default of Apache, right? That's why in the second part you'll show all the page with welcome Apache to Ubuntu, like something like that. That's because that's why we seen it, because in this directory it has it, right? So we are going to remove it. Then we are going to copy the new index HTML at this directory. Then we are going to execute it like a D, right, with daemon, and expose it to the port 80, right? This is the syntax of the index HTML. Okay, now we are going to log in the Docker Hub. If we don't have a account, we can go to the Docker Hub. It's this page, and we can create a new account. In my case, I already have one, so it won't be necessary. So we are going to log in, sudo docker login. Okay, I already signing in my computer. That's why existing credentials sign appear here, and login succeed. Okay, now we have to build an image, sudo docker build t apache point. Sorry, I forget it. I have to go at the directory. So we are going to cd was in home, right? Tier, okay, and 3, I think. Yes. Okay, let me see. Okay, build. Okay, Docker file and index. It's right here. So we are going to execute the command again, and you can see it is building the images. So we have to wait, right? You have to wait until they build the images. Reading package lists. You have to wait. Step 4 of 8. Okay, we have to wait. They're still waiting, right? Still waiting. Meanwhile, we can copy the next command. because we are going to give it a tag for this container, for this image, right? That's why we put tag Apache, right, the name of the container. Then we are going to put it on here, the usuario, right, the username. My username is Sigmar, so I'm going to put it in that way, /Apache. So we have to wait, setting up, enable, processing, okay, maybe, okay, 5 of 8, 6, 7, almost, okay. Successfully finished, successfully tagged. They already assigned a tag. It's Apache latest, but I'm going to change it, like sudo docker tag Apache username. It will be my username, Sigmar Apache. Okay, done. Now we are going to push it into the repository. I'm going to copy this command, sudo docker push, and the tag of this image will be, well, it is Sigmar Apache. Waiting, preparing, pushing. Okay, it's pushing. Okay, maybe, okay, this mention a build. We have right here the same steps that we already write it. Instead, we only execute this sh file, right? Instead login manual, right? So typing manual, login, build, tag, push. We just only execute this build sh, but instead we have write it. So we have to wait, and then we are already done with the second step. We can proceed to the next step until they are ready. The image already pushed. No, they don't. Okay, we have to wait a little bit more, or we can pause the video. We are going to pause and let's continue. Okay, we are ready. Okay, it's done, right? So we are going to prove, because we already have the container in here. We can check. We have it here. It's public, right? It's public. It's like we have created minutes ago. Last pushed a few seconds ago, right? In the Linux operative system. And okay, everything looks okay. Now we can try to create an image with that, right? So I'm going to return to the home directory. Then I'm going to copy this command. Oh, sorry, okay, and paste it. I'm going to put it Apache, new Apache, right? New Apache. Then my username, Sigmar, and like we did it on the second step and the second part before, with the port 8888 and the container port 80, right? Then the container is already up. We are going to check password and create it. New Apache, right? You can see created 17 seconds ago and up 15 seconds ago, right? And we are done. And the last step, we can check our container sudo docker stats and new Apache, and right, you can see we can get the statistics of our image. He's using like 5 megabytes of memory of RAM, or wherever we want to know, right? If we want to exit, we can put Control C, and we are exit. And that's all about the third step, the third part. Now, the last part, we are going to use Docker Compose. Docker Compose is where you can manage all the containers that you have on your account, right? So we are going to do the first step. The first step is to download and install Docker Compose. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it right here, right? And we have to wait. Then we can, okay, we are going to wait. I think it won't be, okay, done. Now we are going to copy this command to give access, right, to execute it. So we are going to do this sudo chmod, right? Then if we can change it in another directory, we can do it with this command, right? And okay, it's been changed. Now if we want to check if Docker Compose has already installed, we can put it Docker Compose version, and we already have it, version 1. Now if we want to remove it of our computer, we can just put it sudo rm, right, remove, and Docker Compose, right? Now the step 2, we are going to create a Docker Compose GML file, right, to create a microservices. And I think that we already have it here, tier 4 Docker Compose, right, GML. It's right here. So we don't have to create a new one, but if we want different services, we can change it, right? Because we are going to use the web server nginx and a database NoSQL Redis, right? We are going to expose the ports, the port 8000 of my host and the port 80 of the container, right? So we are already done of the about everything of the second step. Now we are going to do the third step. Okay, we are going to go to the Docker Compose GML file. So it's tier docker tier 3. Sorry, I write it wrong. Okay, it's here, and ls. Oh, sorry, it's tier. It's 4. It's the 4. It's the 4 one. Okay, I think oh, sorry, I have to leave this directory. Okay, cd and tier 4, right? ls, and it's here, Docker Compose, right? Okay, so we are going to do sudo docker compose up d, right, to create it like a daemon in the second plane, and it's creating now, right? This command will create 2 containers, right? So we are going to wait. It's downloading. We have to wait. It won't be like a lot of time. It will be okay. Pull complete. Yeah, I think it's a few seconds ago and it's done. We're going to wait. Downloaded newer image for Redis. Okay, it's downloading the okay, it's done, the 2 containers. If we want to check, we are going to put sudo docker compose ps, and there we are. There we have our 2 containers, Redis and Nginx. Okay. If we want to stop these two containers, we only put docker compose stop, right? And they are going to stop. And if we want to stop and remove all, we only put docker compose down, right? We can put it sudo docker compose down. Oh, sorry, it's down. And stopping, they are stopping and then removing, and that's all. And we have finished. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video, and bye bye.